is from Rob Schrader, and Rob asks, what is the process you go through when a client asks for you to make a trumpet for them? Well, that's a great question, and of course one that I get every day. On average, we probably deal with new customers a couple times a day. So we answer this question all the time. And in reality, the beginning process is just having a conversation with me. So the best way is to send an email or just give me a call or schedule a time to stop in the shop. And we would discuss what kind of player you are, what kind of playing you're doing. If you play big band music exclusively, then we'd probably want to build you a horn that's going to fit that type of playing. If you're a solo jazz person, you might want something with a really big bell that has a big broad sound, kind of smoky like this. Or you might be a big band player, and like I said before, you want something very specific, maybe kind of a sizzly bright sound, but you could be an orchestral player. You might just want to see trumpets. Whatever it is, that's the information that I would need to know, and then we can have a conversation about what you've played in the past, what equipment you've used, what mouthpieces you favor, and why. And from there, we would begin outlining the ideas for a horn that would work for you. It could be for orchestral players a lot of times. Lead pipe 1 or lead pipe 4, those tend to be the lead pipes that really feel comfortable throughout the entire range of the instrument, but then share really great intonation within that realm of music. Classical, quintet, symphonic work, whether it's band or orchestra. And then, everyone is a little bit different. Some people are naturally bright, some are naturally dark. A lot of times that is determined by how much space is inside your mouth, the oral cavity. If you hold your tongue really low to the bottom of your mouth and you have a nice big ah type setting inside, you probably have a bigger sound. And then you probably need a slightly shorter trumpet. If you play very closed where your tongue is up high and there's not much space in your mouth, then you probably play with very little space in there, but you may have a more efficient airflow in terms of you use maybe less air, and it probably, on average, is easier to move faster, so you can maybe play higher. Most high note players play with their tongue at least going up and down and maybe towards the top of their mouth. But in that case, you probably have a naturally bright sound, and maybe you want a darker setup to complement that so you can fit more in the mid-range. Or maybe your goal is to be a dark sounding player, and you're always naturally bright on whatever horn you choose. We could solve that problem as well. So, in the end, we get an idea for what you're looking for, and then we send you a PDF order form. It looks like that, real fancy. And it basically gives you all your options, and I'll read them through. You can choose your model. We have lots of different models, obviously, but I always recommend the Summit line, because the Summit is really where I spend most of my time and energy in development. The Bravura and the HT line, they were developed a long time ago, and I don't work on improving them. They're great horns, but if you want the very best cutting-edge technology that I'm applying, then that would be in the Summit or the Gravity. Lead pipe and bell, well, we have about a dozen lead pipes and 14 bells. So with all those configurations available, we have something for everyone. A lot of options that people don't know. Mouthpiece receiver. Sometimes you'll see a mouthpiece receiver that has somebody's name in it. On Summit trumpets, that's included. You can have whatever you like there. We have about 5 or 6 different Summit logos, so if there's one that you don't like, let us know. If there's one you really want, let us know. All those kinds of things are included. Finger button inlays, those are usually included on the Summits. And some of the other options, the tuning slide on the Summit trumpet, we would discuss which tuning slide you like the best. And I'm actually introducing a couple new tuning slides in the next coming months for the Summit trumpet, as well as tuning slides, the standing wave efficiency version for Bach and Yamaha. Other options that we would cover, third slide stop. We have a lot of variations there. Isn't a big deal, but those are kinds of things that just little nuances that you may want to choose. You can choose your water keys, what type of fingerings you want, the overall finish, the weight and the efficiency of the trim kit. You can see this horn has medium bottom caps, regular recessed top caps, and finger buttons. And this one here, completely different. It's got the heavy bottom caps. And these are finished in black lacquer, whereas these are in silver. You know, the sky's the limit in terms of options, and you can choose anything you like. And then, of course, the most important side of this, as much as I like aesthetics, really comes down to setting the horn with the right venturi size, which is the opening to the lead pipe. We want to make sure that we set that so that it has the type of airflow that you really feel comfortable using. If you've been playing on a Schilke B1 for 20 years, I probably am not going to build you a trumpet that feels extremely different in terms of airflow, because you probably don't want to make that kind of change. Whereas if you've tried, 20 different horns in the last 20 years, and you have ideas that you want to pick from each one, we would find the airflow that fits you the best. And then the other part of that is the gap. We always want to make sure that we set the gap to something that's going to fit you well. And that is the distance from the end of the mouthpiece to the beginning of the lead pipe. So when you put it in here, there sometimes is a little gap in it, well, usually. And we want to make sure that gap fits with your playing. So at the end of the day, what we try to do is build a horn that's exactly what you want. And that's how we would get an order started. A couple other things I should mention. We have a 12-month guarantee. So if through all those discussions we build you a horn and you feel like, well, that horn it's a nice horn, but it doesn't quite achieve what I'm looking for, then you would send it back and I would rebuild it with a different lead pipe or bell. Or in some instances, even like build you a new horn and just trade it back. Some other things to know, we take a $500 deposit. Our waiting list is usually anywhere from 3 to 6 months on standard summits and bravuras and HTs. And on art horns, 6 to 12 months usually. And we also take trades, which is why you see us selling so many other horns. So, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me. I have lots of great topics I'd like to cover. We actually have notebooks full of ideas. But if you have physics-related questions, or care or maintenance, or design questions or ideas, I've covered a lot of those things already, but not on video, just in master classes and with people in person. But I'd be happy to share those on video. So please send us your questions, and I look forward to answering them next time. Thanks.